I'm gonna, I think we're ready.
Okay, I'll go ahead right now.
Okay. Welcome in, folks. We're glad to have you. I'm going to get started very shortly. I've got a lot of information for you guys today. Welcome in. So we're going to get started very shortly. Just want to make sure we have time for everyone to drop in. Thank you for joining us. You're here at the Ability Tools AT for Health today. So welcome everyone. If you'd like to share where you're coming from, we'd love to read that out. You can drop that information into the chat and we'll go over the housekeeping in just another minute or so. Wonderful. Okay. Andrea, welcome from San Marcos. If anybody else wants to drop in, Hollister, wonderful. Welcome, Sandy. Susie from Disability Services and Legal Center, welcome. Okay, I think I'm going to get started in just another minute. Alex from Oakland, welcome. Happy Thursday. Hi, Sam. Okay, so let's go over just our normal kind of housekeeping stuff. Give me 1 sec while I switch over. Okay, so welcome everyone. We're gonna get started. Thank you all for joining us. Let's go over some of the normal housekeeping stuff. So as many of you know, we do record everything and short slides will be shared with everyone at the end of our presentation. We typically take, I'd say maybe 7 days or so to get that all edited and archived. So it will be available on our YouTube channel. We can share the link a little bit later on today. If anybody is interested, they're always available, and the slide decks will be shared with everyone that's registered for the training today. And let's go over the meeting controls. So as far as accessibility today, we've enabled the Q&A, the chat, closed captioning, and the raise hand feature. So all of these features can be found at the bottom of your screen. Your screen might look a little different as far as your menu options, but you'll see the Q&A and the chat circled on the bar here. Closed captioning as well. You'll see that icon is shown with the CC and then the raised hand feature. To access the closed captioning, all you have to do is locate that CC icon under the meeting controls found at the bottom of the page. You'll be able to also use the stream text link, which is going to be shared in the chat. And that's a great option because it allows you to increase the font size, font color. You're able to kind of manipulate it as best as you like. Please remember, we like to use the Q&A or the raise hand features for questions, and then we try to reserve the chat for any links and comments. This really helps us if you want to participate and add any of your information or links that you'd like us to include in the final draft that gets emailed out, we'd love to get that. It's easier for us to manage that if you can drop that in the chat. And again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and type those in the Q&A anytime during the presentation. We will try to answer as many questions as we can at the end of the presentation. Okay, so that's our normal kind of spiel. With that said, let me go ahead and jump over to the other slide deck and we'll get started. Okay, so Ine is our tech host today. If you have any questions, I forgot to mention, if you have any questions or technical issues, you can message her directly. You'll see her as co-host Ine under tech. Feel free to reach out to her if you're having some trouble. Again, you can put that into the chat. But for questions on our presentation, go ahead and use the Q&A feature. And again, welcome everybody. We're at AT Solutions for Managing Your Health. I've got a lot to go over with you guys, so I'm going to do my best to get through everything today. And let's get started. So today's focus is going to be on chronic conditions and AT for different chronic conditions. So a chronic condition is a health condition or disease that lasts for a year or more and requires ongoing care. Chronic conditions can impact your physical health, your mental well-being, daily life, and ability to do activities you enjoy. According to an article that was published by the CDC in February of this year, Chronic Disease Prevalence in the US, it's estimated that about 130 million Americans are living with at least one chronic illness. Of these, 100 million people have more than one or two. And then nearly 30 million people live with more than 5 of these chronic illnesses. And when we're talking about chronic illness, it could include a number of things. It could include hypertension, arthritis, heart disease, cancer, obesity, asthma, diabetes. I realize that the order of these is all different than what I have on the screen here. So for our focus today, we're going to try to focus on diabetes, hypertension, and arthritis. There are some, of course, AT devices and services that can work for more than one condition. We're just trying to outline for ease of use. But like always, this is not an exhaustive list. Please, take note of anything that you'd like, but all these slides do have all the hyperlinks for you. So you'll be able to just sit back and kind of enjoy the presentation. So let's begin with diabetes. So diabetes is a chronic disease that occurs when the body can't properly regulate blood sugar levels. There are a few types of diabetes. So first off, type 1 diabetes is when the body's defense system or the immune system accidentally attacks and destroys the cells in the pancreas that make insulin. Insulin is like a key that helps sugar get from your blood into your cells to give you energy. Who gets diabetes or type 1? Type 1 starts when you're young, but it can happen at any age. It's treated when the body can't make its own insulin. Type 1, you have to take insulin through shots or a pump every day. Type 2 diabetes, give me one sec, I have to move my menu. Type 2 diabetes, the body still makes insulin, but it either doesn't make enough or the body doesn't use it well. This is often because of lifestyle factors like not getting enough exercise or eating too much sugar. It can happen to older adults, but more and more kids are being diagnosed with diabetes, often due to lack of physical exercise. And then type 2 diabetes is treated by managing diet, eating healthier, exercising, and sometimes taking medicine. Some people might also need insulin. And then lastly, we have gestational diabetes, and that develops during pregnancy due to insufficient insulin production, causing high blood sugar. Who gets this one is pregnant women, especially those with obesity or a family history of diabetes, sometimes over the age of 25. Or have a history of gestational diabetes. Treatment for this could be healthy diet, exercise, blood sugar monitoring, and medication like insulin. So now that we kind of know what we're talking about as far as diabetes, let's go into the next slide, diabetes management. So there's a number of different things that you can use for diabetes management. I want to call your attention to the image here. Throughout our presentation, I'm going to call out partners blogs that we have also created for you guys. So I have a hyperlink to these as well. This will be specific to the different conditions. So here I have AT solutions for diabetes management. You see a woman here a pregnant woman here giving herself an insulin injection. She's sitting on a bed. She has an orange shirt and kind of a blue background. Now let's kind of go over the list of items that we're going to review here for diabetes management. So you'll hear continuous glucose monitors or CGMs, wearable insulin pumps, smart insulin pens, non-invasive blood glucose monitors, smartphone connected glucose meters, AI-based diet tracking apps, service animals, smart footwear for diabetic neuropathy. So let's kind of dive in. So there are several insulin delivery methods, and these methods vary. There's the insulin syringes, insulin pen, which we see photographed here. This is one called the InPen. And in the photograph, you see the parts of the pen. You see the cap, the insulin needle, the insulin cartridge holder, the dose window, the dose knob, and then the injection button on the left. On the right, you'll see an app that goes along with the InPen, and it has a dose calculator. It gives you a current glucose reading, active insulin remaining, meal history, dose history, glucose history, activity log, and reports. So that's what the app will show you. There's also the insulin pump, a patch pump, inhalable insulin, an implantable insulin pump. So let's kind of go over what those are. The wearable insulin pumps, these are devices that deliver continuous insulin through a small tube inserted under the skin, often connected to a CGM. Patch pumps are small wearable patches that deliver insulin without the need for tubing. They offer more flexibility in administration. There's actually inhalable insulin, and this is a powder form of insulin that's inhaled, offering an alternative to injections. It's typically used for mealtime insulin. And then there's also the implantable insulin pumps, and those are devices that are implanted under the skin that deliver insulin continuously. They're used in more severe cases, and they're less common, but I wanted to mention the different types. Okay. So what's the difference here? And in my deep dive on kind of learning some of the different devices here, I realized that I didn't realize that there was two different things here, the insulin pump and the CGM. So I thought it might be good to throw this in here. So some of the terms sometimes are a little bit confusing. You might hear blood glucose monitor or BGM. That's the one that uses the finger stick. We'll see a photo of that in a little bit. But that basically works by you manually checking your blood sugar by pricking your finger and using a test strip. You use that one maybe a few times a day, like before meals or before bed, and it's good for people who prefer to check their blood sugar only at certain times or want a simple device. Then you'll hear continuous glucose monitor, CGM. That's what the photos are of here. Those are a small sensor under the skin that tracks your blood sugar levels at all times. It sends updates to your phone or a monitor. When to use, this one's always working, so you can see your blood sugar levels at any time without pricking your finger. This one might be good for people who want to track their blood sugar more closely or who need to see trends and patterns throughout the day. So do you need both? Not necessarily. If you use a CGM, it usually replaces the need for a BGM. However, some people with a CGM still use a BGM occasionally to double check their levels or if their CGM isn't working properly. Your doctor can help you decide which one is best for you based on needs and lifestyle. So in the image here, we specifically see features the insulin pumps combined with CGM devices, showcasing how each system manages insulin delivery without the need for a separate blood glucose monitor. On the left side, you'll see a tubeless insulin pump. You'll notice it shows a person with a tubeless insulin pump attached to their arm. She's got a red shirt on. It's a continuous glucose monitor, again, a CGM. It also depicts a cell phone or a reader device, which is used to manage and read the data from the insulin pump. And then on the right side, you'll notice that there is a person kind of showing their belly. This one has a traditional insulin pump with tubing connected to it, an infusion set attached to the abdomen along with the CGM sensor. Again, these are kind of just showing different styles, and the person can decide what works for them best. So now let's move on to AI-enabled health coaching. Aria is an AI health coach programmed with the latest information in glucose and lifestyle management, from books, blogs, human coaching training resources, news articles, and scientific papers, and more. It determines what recommendation is best suited to you at a specific time. So essentially what it does is it starts tracking. Once you insert your CGM from the center, your glucose levels are automatically measured every 5 minutes. Then AI learns. So Aria learns, it begins learning about what's affecting your unique blood sugar patterns and generates tips to help you achieve better blood sugars. As you proceed along your health journey, Aria learns alongside you. So likes, dislikes, allergies, exercise preferences, goals, and more. Aria uses these to offer incredibly personalized trend insights and suggest meals based on your preferences. So Center is the one that has Aria as the app. You can choose a program that suits your needs. It roughly costs about $225 a month for the CGM and the app. This includes a CGM prescription in the app. Then you can just do the app only if you like. That runs about $40 a month, and you can use your own CGM. On the images on the slide here, you're going to notice the blood glucose monitor, the one with the finger stick. You'll see it's a little hard to see because they're both white and the background is white. However, it's a finger stick and it attaches to the phone, and it will go and it gives it a complete reading right onto the phone. So you can use that if you don't want to use the continuous glucose monitor. And then on the right, you'll see a woman that has the continuous glucose monitor attached to her arm, and also the app will give the reading that way as well. So you have the option of how you want to use it. There's different prices for how you utilize the service, but Aria is you can still get the health coaching. Next is diabetic service dogs. So there are two main types of diabetic service dogs. There's a medical response dog and a diabetic alert dog, also known as DADs. So medical response dogs are trained to respond to symptoms of severe low blood sugar, such as extreme fatigue, loss of consciousness or seizures. Their role is to alert you or those around you when these dangerous symptoms occur. In addition, these dogs can retrieve essential supplies like food, drinks, or an emergency kit to help manage low blood sugar levels. Diabetic alert dogs, DADs, have a more proactive role. They're specifically trained to detect changes in your body's scent that occur when blood sugar levels are either too high or too low. By sensing these chemical changes, DADs can alert their owner before any symptoms appear, providing an early warning that allows for quicker intervention. This capability can help individuals, particularly those with type 1 diabetes, maintain greater independence and manage their condition more effectively. So how do diabetic dogs alert their owners? There's a few different ways that they do this. I'd like to kind of share a video in just a bit that shows one of these in action. This is Corey, the diabetic alert dog. He was showcased on Good Morning America story. So we're going to try to share that short little video of Corey and his owner or her owner. Let's see. There's also on the slide here, I wanted to give you another link to another service. It's called Dogs for Diabetics, D4D. They're the first dog provider for insulin-dependent diabetics accredited by the Assistive Dogs International. We'll have a link for their services there. I believe they're in the Bay Area. They do offer different trainings, and there's also a link here for how they will pre-screen folks that might be eligible for Dogs for Diabetics. So I urge you folks to take a peek if you'd like to learn more about their particular services. But now let's go ahead and see Corey's story and see if this one works for us. Give me just one sec. Are you guys hearing this okay?
A diabetic alert dog helps you manage your diabetes and your blood sugar, and that they can smell when your blood sugar goes too high or too low.
Oh, it's a very aggressive poop.
The ideal diabetic alert dog will let you know before it gets too high or too low.
Good boy. Good boy.
They should come to you right away and be like, hey, something's going on. You got to take care of this right now.
This is what Corey does if I faint from a low blood sugar. And he keeps barking until help arrives. Here I have a t-shirt I wore when I had a low blood sugar. I take the shirt and I hide it under my sweater. He alerts me by booping his nose into my leg. Good boy! He also brings me my juice bottle, which is in the same place, so he always knows where it is. Good boy!
Corey's a goofball. He is afraid of the floor.
I've put his yogurt in his box, and he will not come to lick it. Come here. Look at how afraid he is, and he won't even walk from this into his box.
Something happened with the floor, and it was something around a corner. It was from one day to the next. He did not want to walk on our floors. So I talked with my trainer here, and she's like, well, why don't you try putting on like his winter shoes for the snow that they don't cut their feet and everything. And we put them on and it was like, ting, like magic, like, oh, I'm walking, like, yeah, this is great. I'm not scared anymore at all. So he wears shoes and socks. I think it's like a good 90% of my day is just thinking about it. There's no break from diabetes. 24/7, 365 days a year. I definitely developed more anxiety the older I get, and definitely depression. because you're just trying to live a normal life, and diabetes doesn't let you live a normal life. You have good days and bad days. My boyfriend's a super deep sleeper. I'm a deep sleeper. All right, I want to ask my doctor about a service dog.
Corey and I are going to show you what he does at night when my blood sugar is low. For right now, I'm going to take my low t-shirt and I'm going to hide it under my blanket so that he has the smell of the low. I lay down in my bed for a few minutes and pretend like I'm taking a nap. Then he boops me until I wake up. Good boy. He also goes and turns the light on so that I can see where my juice is and where my meter is. Light! Good boy!
And for me, it's really especially important that he wakes me up at night when things start to go low, because I don't hear it and then I won't wake up. He's always right.
We're going to show you how Corey alerts for high blood sugar. I put these towels on me when I had a high blood sugar. I'm just going to hold the jar close to his nose. His alert for highs is spinning around in a circle. Show me! Good boy!
I mean, he is the best. He just like brings joy, even if I'm having a super bad day. Like, he is just lights up my face and he makes me laugh, and he's really helped a lot with anxiety and depression too. He's just a great little dude and I love him so much.
Give me one sec, guys, trying to skip to the next slide here. There we go. So I love that story, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. Corey was great. So moving on, more stuff for diabetes. We've got medication coolers. So typically these are great for traveling. If you're camping, if you're out and about and you're going to be out for a long period of time and you know that you need to keep your insulin refrigerated or cooled down in emergencies, it's a great thing to have. These here are by For All Family Voyager Auto Shutoff USB TSA Medication Cooler. It's a long name, but we have it hyperlinked here for you. Essentially, the inner tube has a large refrigerated space that has enough capacity to fit 7 insulin pens and other medications as well. The internal temperature stays at about 36 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit range at all time. It's equipped with a display that shows the inner temperature in real time. The one photographed here is roughly about $200 on Amazon. It has an auto shut off and a rechargeable feature. I did notice they had one for a lot less. However, it doesn't refrigerate. So it has, if you notice in the photo here, there's 2 ways that you can keep this cool. There's a little blue kind of container that has a frozen component. So that's what the style would come with, that does not have to plug in. And what that does is basically once that, melts, then the tube itself is going to get warmer. So it comes with both components. And then off to the right of the actual tumbler, I guess, you'll notice there's kind of the refrigeration component. That's the part that you would charge. It has a black cap here and kind of a silver base. That also goes into the tumbler. That's the piece that is going to keep it refrigerated. So if you don't want to spend the $200, I believe the other one is somewhere in the $30 to $50 range, but you wouldn't have the refrigeration component. You would just have the little blue piece that stays frozen. You keep it in the freezer and then you throw that in the tumbler. Just wanted to kind of explain that. It also has a little blue travel case here. It's the upper picture in the the slide here. And then down below is actually a separate device. That is the refrigerated medicine travel case with temperature display. So that looks more like a little wallet. It's an insulin cooler travel case with a built-in temperature display on the screen, on the front of the kind of wallet piece. It comes with 2 cooling gel pads that can be frozen and a hard case. This one's only about $18. And again, you'll see the blue case, you'll see a close-up of the temperature read, and then those little cooling gel pads are what you would freeze and be able to keep the unit cool. So you've got kind of a high-tech one and a low-tech version here. These are actually really great for emergencies as well. Another thing to consider for diabetics is foot care and neuropathy. Neuropathy is a condition that results from damage to the peripheral nerves, which are the nerves outside of the brain and spinal cord. It often causes weakness, numbness, tingling, and pain. It's typically in the hands and feet. Neuropathy can result from various causes like diabetes, infections, injuries, and certain medications affecting how the body feels pain, temperature, and touch. And why is this important? It's really important for diabetics to take care of their feet. We want to make sure that they follow some tips. So I've shared some here. You want to check your feet daily for cuts, blisters, or swelling. You want to keep feet clean and moisturized, avoiding areas between the toes. So between the toes should be dry. You want to wear properly fitting shoes with good support. Wearing shoes with a wide toe box and good cushioning and arch support can help prevent wounds, blisters, and pressure points. Trim nails straight across and file edges. Avoid walking barefoot to avoid injury. And then you always want to consult a healthcare provider for any foot issues. So to help with this, I wanted to include a telescoping mirror that comes in a kit of 2 for about $19. This one has an LED lights and can be used for a variety of applications. So the mirror itself can be used to kind of self-check your feet if you're not able to reach, and you can look for sores and cuts and any kind of issues like ulcers on your feet. The mirror can also be integrated in someone's daily hygiene routine to inspect your feet for cuts or sores. So this one here has, you'll see kind of close-ups of different part of it. You'll have also a hyperlink to the telescoping inspection mirror. Again, very low cost item, good to kind of add to your hygiene routine. Another great thing that we found here were smart socks. So smart footwear for diabetics with neuropathy, like the Siren Care Diabetic Sock and foot monitoring system. This uses temperature sensors embedded in the socks to detect early signs of inflammation. This helps to prevent foot ulcers that could ultimately lead to amputations down the line. So the purpose is to prevent the foot ulcers and amputations by monitoring the temperature of your feet. It uses temperature sensors in the socks to detect early signs of inflammation. Continuous monitoring detects temperature differences between the feet. That is important because that's one of the initial signs that there could be trouble if one foot is hotter than the other. The data helps users and doctors address problems early, reducing risk of serious injuries. The socks are comfortable and feel like regular socks despite the embedded sensors. And then this particular one, the Siren socks, come with a subscription. It includes 5 pairs of socks every 6 months, a mobile app for monitoring, and access to support and educational resources for about $19.95 a month. So you'll notice in the images here, you'll see the app on the phone has different data that is collected from the socks. And then on the right side, you'll see someone with the actual smart socks on. You'll kind of notice there's a little sensor closer to the ankle, a little, almost looks like a little protruding square. And then if you look really closely, you'll kind of see that there are kind of almost like a veining in the socks. That's going to be how they're able to tell if the temperature is rising on the feet, and it's going to deliver information to those apps. And then we talked about footwear, and so how footwear is really important as well to avoid injury to your feet. So I did a little bit of research and found a few that have shoes that have wide toe boxes, good cushioning, arch support that can help prevent wounds, blisters, and pressure points. Again, this is not meant to be an exhaustive list. It's just kind of some recommendations if you want to check out. The first one being the Ortho Feet Coral Stretch Knit. It's a sneaker option that has a wide toe box and a rocker bottom for smooth walking. The one photographed here on the right is called the Brooks Glycerin 21. It's designed for people with flat feet, low arches, ankle instability, and severe pronation problems. This one is a white shoe with kind of a gray little check almost design. It's got an orange and black base on it, rubber base. You'll notice that the base is a lot thicker, more cushion. A lot of the shoes that are recommended for diabetics, you'll notice more cushioning on the bottom and a wider toe box. The next one on our list is the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V12. It's really good for shock absorption. And then the last one, we have Skechers Go Walk Joy Sensational Day Sneaker. It's really good for swollen feet. So again, you'll have hyperlinks to all of these if you want to check them out. Just our unofficial recommendations. If you want to see, I'm sure there's plenty more that you can look into. The Ortho Feet website and the Brooks website has a plethora of different shoes that may also fit the need. So I recommend checking those out as well. Now we can move on to hypertension. So hypertension is essentially high blood pressure, and this happens when your blood pressure is consistently too high, meaning the blood is pushing too hard against the walls of your blood vessels. It often is defined as a blood pressure reading of 140 over 90 millimeters of mercury or higher. So I want to share this great analogy I read that explains how the blood pressure works. So blood pressure is like the pressure of water flowing through a garden hose. Imagine your blood is the water and your blood vessels are the hose. Your heart is like the pump that pushes the blood through the hose. The systolic pressure is the push when your heart pumps out blood. It's like when you squeeze the hose to make the water come out faster. The higher number in a blood pressure reading shows how strong that push is. That's the systolic pressure. The diastolic pressure is the rest. That's when your heart takes a break between pumps. It's like when you stop squeezing the hose, but water still flows through it at a lower pressure. The lower number shows the pressure during the rest period. So when you hear numbers like 120 over 80, the first number is how hard the heart is pumping, systolic. And the second number is the pressure when your heart is resting, diastolic. So quick little tidbit in case you're ever hearing these things. You want to kind of know how to read it. Hypertension can lead to serious health problems like heart disease, stroke, and kidney damage because the heart has to work harder to pump the blood. So in the image here, we see a doctor checking a person's blood pressure, and I wanted to show a little bit more about the blood pressure categories. These are from the American Heart Association. I typically will not share charts on our slides because they're a little hard for accessibility, but I thought this one was important. So I'm going to do my best to explain what's on the screen here. In the image, you're going to see the chart that displays blood pressure categories with corresponding systolic, the upper number, and diastolic, the lower number readings in millimeters of mercury. So the normal systolic is less than 120 and the diastolic is less than 80. So you'll see that highlighted here in green. Elevated, which is highlighted in yellow, is going to be 120 to between 120 and 129. Systolic and diastolic less than 80. High blood pressure or hypertension stage 1 is anywhere between 130 and 139 for systolic, and between 80 and 89 for the lower number, diastolic. And then hypertension stage 2, that is 140 or higher. And so again, 140 or higher for the upper number, 90 or higher for the lower number. And then finally on this chart, you have hypertensive crisis. So that's when the systolic higher than 180 and the diastolic higher than 120. That's when immediate medical consultation is advised. The reason I point these out is because many of us don't realize what is high, what is dangerous, all the things. So I wanted to include a chart here that might kind of help explain that. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some of the AT devices that can help with hypertension management. So again, like I mentioned before, call your attention to the right side. The image here has the AT Solutions for Hypertension Management blog. This is the thumbnail here for it. Someone is seated taking their own blood pressure in the image. We also have the hyperlink. I believe this is not published yet, so by the time you guys get these slides, it should be. So that will be all hyperlinked for you if you want to get all the specific details on this. And as far as our list of different things that we can utilize for hypertension management, there are things like smart blood pressure monitors, blood pressure management apps. One of the great ones that we have is, well, excuse me, let me go back one. Smart blood pressure monitors. Those are the display readings are digital and they make it a little easier for anybody to see. Those are pretty commonly used. And then blood pressure management apps like Cardi Health. That's one of the great ones. It helps users manage their heart health by offering features like real-time tracking of your heart rate, blood pressure, and ECG readings. Users can log daily activities, track medication use, and set personal health goals with that app. Another app that is really well regarded is Welltory, is a heart rate variability app that measures the variation in time intervals between your heartbeats. From heart conditions to mental health problems, this helps indicate existing or future health issues. Blood pressure cuffs. Those are compact portable devices designed to measure blood pressure at the wrist, making it more convenient for on the go. So if any of you have taken your blood pressure before or gone to the doctor and they've taken your blood pressure, you'll notice they put it on your upper arm. The blood pressure cuffs can also be available for on the wrist. Not always able to get the most accurate, but on the go, it's a good way to do it if you're not able to quickly, take off your sleeve or something. There's also something called blood pressure lowering patches. These devices that deliver medication through the skin, helping to effectively reduce blood pressure levels. And then lastly, we have AI-powered blood pressure coaches, and I will talk a little bit more about that on the next slide, but these are AI-based apps that show mostly positive results, highlighting their benefits from health management. It's a lot like the one we talked about a little bit earlier, but this one is related to hypertension. So Hello Heart is an AI-enabled health coaching app. It works similarly to the other one that we saw earlier for diabetes, but Hello Heart this app connects with an at-home blood pressure cuff and uses AI to deliver personalized health coaching. It helps users track their blood pressure, medications, physical activity, and it offers real-time insights to help reduce their blood pressure. In the image, you'll see the Hello Heart blood pressure app on the phone, and then as well as the monitor, and the display will show different readings for the blood pressure. And then on the right, you'll see a woman holding her phone, smiling at the display. That's what the image is shown. Next, one sec. Next up is arthritis. So like I mentioned before, I can't get to all of the the conditions, we can only focus on a few. Arthritis is a common condition that causes inflammation and pain in the joints. It can affect people of all ages and is often characterized by stiffness, swelling, and reduced mobility. There are various types of arthritis, with osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis being the most prevalent. So osteoarthritis is a degenerative joint disease characterized by the breakdown of cartilage. It leads to pain, stiffness, and reduced mobility in the affected joints. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disorder that causes chronic inflammation in the joints, resulting in pain, swelling, and potential joint damage over time. Treatments are available to help manage symptoms and improve quality of life. To the right, again, we have the thumbnail of a blog that we're working on, AT Solutions for Arthritis. This will be out and ready by the time the slides are out. In the image, you'll see a close-up of someone with an older person's hands, a close-up of their hands against a wood grain background, and below is the hyperlink to the blog. Some of the things that are very useful for folks that have trouble with arthritic hands would be adaptive eating utensils. I found these ones here to be really great. These ones here are ergonomic utensils. They make mealtime more comfortable and manageable for individuals with arthritis. These offer a comfortable grip. Their larger cushioned handles reduce the need for a tight grip. They reduce joint stress. The design minimizes hands and wrist strain. These were actually developed by an occupational therapist. These have improved control, enhanced stability and control, making eating a little easier. It has an angled design and they're lightweight. I believe the design also reduces for painful twisting motion. So we have a link to these as well. In the images here, you'll see different ways that a person can hold on to these utensils. So there's 4 images on the left that show different ways that they're configured on how to hold the device. And then on the right, you'll see a close-up of each of these utensils. Excuse me. Joint pain. So joint pain relief is really something that folks with arthritis struggle with. And we've tried to include a plethora of solutions that you can suggest. Many of these devices can be found relatively inexpensively, as well as on big retailers like Amazon or Walmart.com. So we'll start with digital joint pain relievers. These could be something like the electronic acupuncture pen. We've talked about this one before. This delivers a small electrical stimulation to specific areas of the body. This pen comes with multiple tips and it increases in intensity. I believe it goes from 0 to 9. That is photographed in the image on the top left. You'll see a person kind of holding up their palm and showing the pen delivering the kind of the little shock to the palm for some relief. Another digital pain reliever that's pretty common are TENS machines. These are an effective muscle stimulator that provides relief from arthritis-related pain in the back, shoulders, necks, hip, and other areas. This is photographed on the top right. You'll notice the kind of almost the remote-looking device with cables attached and small little sensors that attach to different locations of the body. Again, this also stimulates different muscles and nerves and can be placed in different areas of the body. And the lower left, you'll notice there are arthritis pain relief gloves. These provide targeted support and compression to help alleviate pain while allowing for full hand movement. The ones at the bottom left are fingerless, and you'll notice, I believe they're also laced with, they're like the copper compression gloves. These very affordable, I want to say I think it was under $35, maybe even cheaper. And then on the right, you'll see electric heated arthritis gloves. These combine vibration, heat therapy to provide soothing relief for arthritis, offering a heated hand massage that helps reduce pain and improve circulation. There's also a number of mitten style gloves and pocket warmers available online. I urge you to kind of research some of those. I myself personally used a set of fingerless gloves that plugged into a USB that had warmers. They were also great because I was able to still work and type, and then plug in as I needed to heat them up. So there's a ton of different solutions out there. Another interesting one that we found, there's so many different types of infrared light therapies. So I'm going to try to break down the different ones we were able to locate for you guys. So how infrared light therapy works is it uses wavelengths of light to penetrate the skin and reach deep into tissue. The light is absorbed by cells, which can increase cellular activity, improve blood circulation, and promote healing. This process can help to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, relieve pain, a number of things. So on our list here, we have quite a few different ones. The first one we have is the handheld infrared light therapy devices. So those kind of resemble a smaller flashlight. They provide targeted relief for arthritis by using gentle heat and a light to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Those, again, they look like small little flashlights with a little red light. Some of them kind of look more like a pen. It just depends on the style that you get. There's also large infrared lamps that can be used to provide full body treatment. And again, you'll find them in many different sizes. Here you'll see what's photographed here is an infrared heating pad. So the top photo, the collage, you'll see the pad itself with the red infrared lights. This offers soothing relief for arthritis by delivering deep penetrating heat that helps relax muscles, reduce stiffness, and alleviate joint pain. There's a variety of heating pad sizes. You'll notice that there's different spots that this can be worn. The first one is the shoulder, and you can obviously put it on either side. You can also strap it around your back. You can strap it around your neck, knees, feet, elbows. There's all sorts of uses for these. The wearable infrared therapy devices come in various wearable forms. Again, they all manage pain differently. The portable design of these devices makes them perfect for individuals to continue their daily activities. Examples could be infrared knee pads. They target joint discomfort, wrist and hand therapy gloves that soothe pain and inflammation, and shoulder and back infrared heating pads that deliver soothing heat for relief. Smart infrared belts, ankle and foot wraps. So there's all kinds of different applications that you can use. There's also at the bottom here, you're going to notice an infrared sauna blanket and mat. So it really resembles a sleeping bag. And essentially it is, it's a treatment that you can use for infrared therapy, and you can sleep with it. The infrared light therapy is considered a promising method for managing joint pain, particularly for conditions like arthritis, tendonitis, and other musculoskeletal disorders. So you'll want to kind of look to see, there's quite a few examples that we have highlighted for you, and different styles, different versions. Like I mentioned, there's mittens, there's blankets, there's pads. So take a peek when you have the time. Another really popular item are the infrared massagers. One of the ones that I found the most interesting, if you're familiar with cupping massage therapy, you'll see, we've talked about this before. These are those little cups that you can put on your back, on your shoulders, on your arms, legs. You'll notice multiple cups, and sometimes you'll see athletes with strange kind of circular bruising from them, or maybe almost kind of look like resemble a hickey, is the best way I could describe it. So you'll see that cupping mark left. These are similar, except this one by Myo Cup is a smart cupping therapy massager set. And so what it does is it relieves muscle knots, tension, and deep tissue massage. And it also uses red light therapy. It offers pain relief and improves skin health through advanced red light integration. So the one photographed at the top here, you'll see a woman laying down on the floor. It's a little hard to see, but there is a digital display on the top of the device to increase and decrease the strength. It does have vibration. It also does have where it pulls the skin up to relieve the tension. But the nice thing about this one, it comes with a small remote. So if you have it placed in a spot that's difficult to reach, you can use the remote to release it immediately if needed, if it becomes painful for whatever reason, or if you just need to remove it. That was a cool feature I found. So again, MyoCup Smart Cupping Massage Therapy. They come individually, or I believe I found them in a pair. I think individually was roughly about $40 or $50 for the item. There's also another one that was very popular, cordless knee massager. So this one kind of sits over one of the knees, and essentially it offers portable heat, red light, and vibration therapy to relieve knee pain and stiffness. I think the key to a lot of these infrared devices is continued use to notice any kind of real difference. That's at least from some of the folks that I've talked to that use some of these devices. It's not a one immediate thing. Typically, a lot of the red light therapy has to kind of be used over and over to kind of feel some relief. Again, it's just somebody's 2 cents or a few people that have told us how it works. Another one that we have listed on here, the image here is the Homedics Percussion Action Massager with Heat. This is an infrared massager that uses a combination of mechanical massage heads and infrared light to target deeper muscle tissues and improve blood flow, enhancing pain relief. Some considerations for use: you want to consult a doctor, especially if you have a specific medical condition or are pregnant. You want to always follow the manufacturer guidelines. Adhering to the recommended duration and frequency of use can enhance safety and effectiveness. And like I mentioned before, regular use is recommended by the device instruction, is often necessary to see significant results. Now we're going to move on to some of the devices that we kind of felt many of these could fall under multi-condition management. These are the ones we wanted to call out. So again, use this information as best for what your needs are or recommendations, but we could argue quite a few of these could fall under multi-condition management. The first of which I want to mention is the hydration reminder water bottle. It's designed to help you stay hydrated by reminding you to drink water throughout the day. I believe we've showcased this one in the past as well. So when it's time to hydrate, the bottle makes a gentle noise so you don't forget to sip, and it also lights up at the bottom. You'll notice in the image here off to the right, there's a woman seated at a desk with her laptop, and the water bottle base is lit up in different colors to indicate it's time to hydrate. It's mobile, it's accessible. That's one of the options here. And then another thing for multi-condition management, mobility and accessibility, we'll talk about momentarily, medication management, remote monitoring systems, including sleep activity and fall detection. We've talked kind of extensively about different telehealth platforms and activity trackers with health monitoring. And lastly, we're going to kind of give you a very quick overview of something called digital neurotherapeutics. So we're almost to the end. This is the last little segment. So for mobility and accessibility, again, there's so many different devices that could fall under this. We just wanted to call out some that we have not shared in the past. First one here is the standard bed safety step. So this one's designed to help prevent falls and injury. It's offering a safe way to step up and down to get in and out of high beds or reach difficult places. This one is the first photo in the upper left. You'll notice a woman getting out of bed. It has some sturdy handrails for her to hold on. It's got a pretty decent step. I would say from the image there, it's probably maybe 3 feet wide, somewhere in that range. And then it's got a decent step down. I like this model because it doesn't seem too chintzy. It doesn't seem something that's going to be easily tipped over. So that's one. It's called the standard bed safety step. Again, I believe we found this one on Amazon, and I forget the price. I apologize. The next one that we have on here, this one was really kind of over the top. It's from the image, you can't totally tell, but it's the ErgoBomb ergonomic crutch cane. It's a very unique design. It offers extra balance and support, making it easier for users to move around. I found this one actually off of a TikTok video from a follower that we follow on Ability Tools, and you can't completely tell, but it has a knee rest on that crutch. It has a flashlight on the crutch. It has an ergonomic grip, and it's got a base, a rubber base. So it's really kind of a very high-tech crutch. You can get them with more than one, or you can just get the one. But I thought it was an interesting one to showcase as well. And then the last one that we have on here is called the Camino Smart Walker. This smart walker is designed to improve everyday movement and mobility. It automatically detects when you're going uphill. It provides a healthful boost on flat surfaces and inclines, so you can walk less fatigued. It has gentle automatic braking on downhill slopes, so you can confidently walk further without needing to squeeze the brakes. And the built-in lighting keeps you visible in low light, ensuring you're never in the dark. So it does have, I don't think you can see on here, but at the base, kind of just above the wheels, there are 2 small little, they almost look like little headlights. So it does have a light feature. When I went onto the website for this one, it is pretty heftily priced, and seems to be a wait list. I want to say this is about $2,500 for a walker, but honestly, this Camino walker is motorized, so it does do a lot more than just your typical rollator. So you can't tell from the image there, but it does have a seat. It also folds really small. It's about the size, it looks like it's about the size of very small carry-on. So it is compact, which is kind of one of the other issues that folks find with some of those bigger, bulkier rollators. So it is something to check out and see. And next, we've talked about different medication management in the past. These are some other options I wanted to show. At the top here, we have our smart pill dispensers. These are from Clever Cap Pro. And so the very top image shows 3 of these Clever Cap Pros. These record date and time of each medication dispensed. They ensure correct dose and dose control design. They can dispense multiple pills per dose. It has a locking mechanism. It's adjustable pill count per dosing window, compatible with standard vials, and it's configurable visual and sound reminders with silent mode. So it's ideal for oral formulations with tablets and caplets. So Clever Cap actually has quite a bit of different styles. So they have different smart pill bottles that you can check out. Secondly, we also have talking prescription labels, and many folks that are low vision or blind may use these services, or may not be, and some folks might not be aware that these exist. So some of these options are Script Talk by Envision America, and Script Talk uses a small electronic label attached to the prescription bottle that stores all the medication information. Patients use a dedicated Script Talk reader or a smartphone app that can scan the label, which then reads the instructions out loud. The device reads out dosage, instructions, warning, and prescription details in a clear, audible voice. Many pharmacies offer these, if not all. There's also a version through CVS called Talking RX, and this one works very similarly. It's a portable device that attaches to the bottom of a pill bottle. Pharmacists can record up to 60 seconds of voice instructions directly onto the device, and they can provide personalized information about the medication. Talking RX is its own. Spoken RX is the one that CVS uses. Same idea, it's just a different version. The pharmacies can provide digital readers, and how it works is some pharmacies offer digital readers or smart caps to play audio instructions directly when pressed, specifically designed for use with prescriptions from the pharmacies. They're easy to use. They often require no setup by the patient and typically provided free or at a low cost. So if you're unfamiliar with these services, please reach out to your pharmacy or your physician. They should be well aware of how these work. I just wanted to call these out and remind folks that these are available to you, like it says, usually free or at very, very low cost. Now let's move on to remote monitoring systems. One of the systems I wanted to mention is Amazon's Alexa Emergency Assist. Feature provides quick access to emergency services through voice commands by saying, Alexa, call for help. Users can instantly connect with emergency responders, making getting help in critical situations easier. It has 24/7 urgent response, connect instantly with trained agents at any time without waiting, whether at home or away, for emergency assistance. This service for Prime users is $5.99 a month, and for non-Prime users is $7.99 a month. So let's see, what else does it offer? It can also alert up to 25 emergency contacts when you start in a call with urgent response. You can get notified when Alexa detects smoke, carbon monoxide, glass breaking, enabling quick contact for urgent response. So it can do a whole bunch of things. That's called Alexa's Emergency Assist. And then here on the screen, we have, if anybody joined our most recent, latest and greatest, you'll be familiar with this image and this device. It's called the SAMI Sleep Activity Monitor. And this is the SAMI camera streams video and audio to the SAMI monitoring app, where temporal and spatial algorithms differentiate normal sleep movement from abnormal movements. So this may include falls, as well as a number of other subtle movements like shaking, jerking, spasms, pedaling, rocking, twitching, eye fluttering, sleepwalking, restless legs, coughing spells, vomiting, crying, playing, any other non-sleep behavior. It can report it with the SAMI app. There's information available on the link here. You'll notice the camera on the image, as well as a tablet that shows the display for what the caregiver is going to see. And it does have very sensitive, it's sensitive to the movement. You can actually set it so that it's either more sensitive or less sensitive, depending on what the person or the condition is. So again, SAMI Sleep Activity Monitor. And then some other smart fall detection devices. Medical Care Alert, many of us are familiar with these, but it does come in a variety. Not sure that everybody realizes that the pendants can even be disguised as jewelry for those who may feel self-conscious about wearing the alert pendant. So those typical life alert pendants, you'll usually see them in a necklace with a little button. Here you'll notice on the bottom of the image, you'll see the one that is kind of disguised as a necklace. You'll see a front view. You'll see on the right side, it says back, and that's the actual little alert pendant itself. So there is jewelry available to kind of disguise that. Wanted to call that out. There's also a Smartwatch Pro with GPS, and this one does offer a subscription plan. So they market this one as Smartwatch for seniors with fall detection option that tracks location, heart rate, steps. You press the button for help. You can speak into the watch. It costs roughly $150 for the watch, and then $39.95 a month for the 24/7 monitoring. There's a quick charger included. You can also add the fall detection for an additional $10 a month. So that would be $49.95 for the fall detection. The service itself has a built-in AT&T or T-Mobile cellular service. So you don't need to have a personal cell phone or Wi-Fi required. It's built into the device. The quality features of this smartwatch, let's see. You can speak directly into the watch when you need help. It has GPS location and 4G connectivity to quickly locate you and send services in the event of emergency. And the call center is there to answer the call 24/7. Oops. And then lastly, I wanted to give you guys some information on this really great resource. Digital neurotherapeutics refers to the use of digital technology such as software applications, devices, and interactive programs to treat neurological conditions and improve brain health. These therapies are evidence-based, often personalized and designed to support or enhance cognitive, emotional, and physical recovery through engaging non-invasive methods. So we've come across a company called Xuron AI, and these guys were great. I really urge you to take a peek at their video and see what they're doing after the call. But the key features of this one is Xuron AI is a company that blends advanced neurotechnology with practical, engaging solutions like games and personalized health programs to support brain health, recovery, and general wellness. So the first service that they provide is something called Mimo, Mind Motion. And so what it is Mimo is like a gaming system that mixes fun games with activities that help your brain and body. These games help improve how your brain works. It helps you move better. You're recovering from an injury or boost your overall health. People of all ages can use it, making staying healthy a little more fun and interactive. And then the one that really called our attention was something called Relive. And so Relive looks at your health from all angles. It uses advanced tools to learn about your body and health through special markers and tests. The special features include programs for reversing diabetes and taking care of women's health issues like PCOS and menopause. This is just straight from their website. So the Relive uses technology to create personalized health plans that match each person's unique needs. So the overall concept for Xuron AI combines brain-focused technology with fun games and custom health plans to help people feel better and stay healthy. Their goal is to make brain care and overall well-being easier and more engaging with the help of advanced technology. In the image here, you'll notice looks like a person in a hospital dressed in scrubs. And if you notice, he's got a little device on the stool and then a TV in front of him. The device on the stool is actually capturing his movements to play the game. So essentially, it's much like, we're familiar with Wii's and those kind of things, but this one, why it's kind of innovative is because it's also tracking your health information when you sign up for their services, and it's meant to kind of make the exercise more fun. So here you'll notice he's kind of raising his arms, and if you can see, there's a little player. He's making him move up and down in the video. So again, there's more of a detailed version of this if you want to see it in action. We just thought it was really interesting. They are an overseas company, but they provide services everywhere, and we just thought it was a great resource and kind of very similar to some of the gaming initiatives that we've seen with a twist. So that is the end of my presentation, folks. So now I will open it up for any questions that you guys might have. Let me get my video on. And I'm going to stop sharing and see if there's anything in the Q&A or the chat. Okay. First question I'm seeing, let me see, is will everybody have access to the handouts? Yes, the PowerPoint is always going to be shared with folks that registered for the event, as well as a copy to the link for our YouTube channel that has the recording. The recording won't go out immediately. We usually have to edit it. So give us about a week and you should find it on our YouTube channel. And I can have Ine drop our YouTube channel in the chat for you guys to take a peek. But let me see, does anybody else have any questions for us today? I don't see too many and I don't see any hands raised. Hopefully you guys found the information helpful. Actually, I do see one hand. Hold on. Let me see. I think Joanne had a question. I think I allowed you to unmute, Joanne. Do you want to put?
I was just typing in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so one of the questions I did see is where can we find the AT solutions for other symptoms? So Maggie, if you can kind of elaborate a little bit, are you referring to the second portion of the slide deck that had multiple, for multiple conditions, or are we talking about maybe the first conditions that we first talked about on the list? Let's see. I might be able to answer. So I'm going to kind of assume, Maggie, so forgive me if I don't answer. You can throw it back into the Q&A. So if we're talking about the original list, the very first slide that listed all these different conditions, our hope is to continue this program and to kind of dive into a few more health conditions. We could only focus on so much in the hour's time or the hour and a half's time. So we do plan on researching other tools for you guys and other resources that would be helpful. If you'd like to see something specific, we highly urge you guys to put that in the chat. You can send that directly to me if you'd like to. In the chat, you can email me. Let me put my email link in here just in case. We're always open to your ideas, but that's the hope, is that we're going to go ahead and have maybe a part 2, hopefully even a part 3. Oops, I meant to send that to everyone. Let me do that again. So if you have ideas for more conditions that you'd like us to focus on, please go ahead and throw that in the chat. Otherwise, we'd really like to see things about, I'd like to kind of dive into asthma, respiratory conditions. What else is on there? Maybe kidney disease, cancer. There's so many different things. And again, a lot of these devices can be used for multi-conditions. But to answer your question, Maggie, if you're also looking for the slide decks and for the links for those multi-conditions, I'm going to share that with the group. You'll see an email probably from Ine for all the registrants that will show the links and the recording. And then if you have any questions, you have my direct email. If anybody wants to, get more in-depth information or get another list, I'd be happy. Okay, yeah, so it looks like she clarified conditions other than diabetes, hypertension, what we've already discussed. Yeah, so what we'd like to do is try to plan on having more of these sessions where we can focus on different ones. And so hopefully I can focus on a few more. If you have a specific one that you'd like to focus on, Maggie, or you want us to kind of look in, please go ahead and drop it in the chat and we'll definitely add it to our list. Let me see if there's any other questions today. Okay, so let's see. Before we let you guys go, I wanted to also give you guys some information on upcoming information. Okay, perfect. So it looks like in the chat, Ine dropped our next upcoming webinar is AT and employment. That's happening on October 17th at 2 p.m. The registration link is on the chat here. We'll also include that in our follow-up email for everyone. I also wanted to let you guys know in the chat, if you want to capture, we have lots of blogs on other topics on our website. Again, like the ones that we highlighted, we're going to have, I believe AT and diabetes is already published. The AT and hypertension should be this week, if not early next week. And the AT and arthritis, that blog is also scheduled for next week. So look out for those. By the time you guys get the slide deck, all of them will be live on our Ability Tools blog page. The link is here as well. Thank you, Suzanne, for the great for the compliment. She said, you're doing a good job. I've been in both presentations. I've gotten lots of great info. Wonderful. I'm so glad. We're very happy to kind of try to give you information that's useful to you guys. I like to give a quick breakdown too sometimes of some of these definitions, because I'll be honest, I have sympathized with all of you guys. I realize that we have to know a little bit of everything, and it can be very overwhelming for service providers. So it's nice to have some very bite-sized information that is tangible and you can kind of share with either consumers or family or friends or anybody that you're looking to research with. Let's see. I think there's another question. Wonderful. Okay, so I think that is it for all of us. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so happy that you were able to make it. Again, keep an eye out for the new trainings. We'd like to see you guys there, and we'd love to hear feedback. I think for the next session, what we'll do is we'll also embed a survey, so that way you guys can capture information and we can kind of get all that in one place. It might be a little easier for us to capture and then give you guys what you're asking for. So thank you all for your time. It's close to lunchtime for me here. So have a great day and rest of the week, everybody. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.